Hey!
Well, that sounds like Last Orders at the Bar. And joining me today for Last Orders is radio DJ. Is it radio DJ?
Well,
Tommy Sandhu?
yeah, it's used to
spinning
be,
the discs.
you used to do that. You used to do the clubs. You used to be on radio. On radio, though, you don't really spin anything. You just press buttons.
Yeah.
So there's not much joy in that. And now it's podcasting and stand-up. Yeah.
So, Tommy, tell me, we were talking earlier, proud to be British. What does it mean to you as a British man to be British?
I've been thinking about this a lot recently, over the last few years even, because you just, as I've got more into the news world, working with yourselves, working with people here at GB, and you realise there's so much doom and gloom. It's also negative. Now, I was known on the radio for bringing good news, used to do good news, despite all the news. Even then, 10 years ago, we were thinking, actually, news is depressing. Where's the good stuff? Where's the things to celebrate, those little moments? And then I've travelled around the world. I did the travel show for the BBC for years as well as other travel shows. And you look around with all the weather and all the beaches and all the hotels, and you think, actually, I just still love Britain. And I love all parts of Britain. I love going to Wales. I love going to Scotland. Me and my wife just a few weeks ago did Ben Nevis. Yeah. And so there's so much here. Food, culture. You've got a mix of cultures going on. You name any kind of
history.
Food you want.
We've got one great history.
Right. Okay, well, the history is the thing that splits people, though, right? And I kind of want to move away from history. I want to go forget the past, because if you dissect any nation's past, you're going to find problems, you're going to find problematic characters, you're going to find people that have done good and bad. Yeah. And no one is perfect, as we're realising now, right? And more so than ever. So really now I think, there is a history to be proud of. There is also things to learn from. Yeah. But ultimately, I want to say, if we get too caught up in the past, like so many other countries do as well, you don't move forward. Yeah. I'm almost going to go, right, kind of what's done is done. How are we dealing with that? How other people want to deal with that is up to them. But actually, I don't want to live my life talking about what's so bad.
When you see people going to universities and ripping statues down of somebody did something dastardly a couple of 300 years ago, how does that make you feel as a British person?
Okay, the problem I've got with the statues being pulled down is that it doesn't change anything. Yeah. It just hides it. In the same way, I've got problems with people saying, hey, you just got to be kind. Be kind to everyone. Like, well, hold on. Anyone can be kind. I can fake being kind and go, that's right, Lee. You've
got to mean it, though, haven't you?
It's got to come. And that's why I think it's actually, rather than just be kind, it's being tolerant. It's going, it's cool. I get Lee. Lee's not got the same opinions as me. He's got a different set of, but that's all right. Yeah. And that's what makes the world go round. So it's just that kind of fear that we're living under. Oh no, that's a terrible one. You can't do this and you can't do that. And everything's going to pot, this whole broke Britain thing. There are lots of things to fix in this country. Yes. There are lots of things to fix and do better. But it's not that bad. Where's the happy face?
You've travelled the world, Tom. You've been to all these places. You've got 2 children.
Yep.
Would you like to bring them up anywhere else in the world other than the UK?
No, partly, but look, this is where I'm probably terrible. I don't want them having another accent. I don't, like the thought of having a different accent to my kids would kind of make me feel a little bit like they're not mine. Yeah. But no, I don't think I would. I think, I've lived out in LA. I've spent lots of time out in, even in Dubai. I was there for weeks for work as well. So you look at all these kind of places that are emerging places or places that are established, even Australia. I think, no, I like our humour. I like our food, like our culture. I get the wit of this nation.
You talk about culture, Tommy.
Yeah.
What about cancel culture?
Well, I've been on the raw end of that. That cancel culture is a funny one. The problem we've got is there are some people out there doing bad things, wrong uns, men, a lot of men in positions of power. They're abusing that power. Yeah. And then you've got, I feel, I'm going to maybe be a bit biased, I've got people like me that were eaten up amongst that. All of a sudden I'm in a WhatsApp group, other people say something, I get cancelled. I'm like, but I haven't said anything. Oh yeah, but it's through association. You're part of this group. Why would they use this language around you? You must be one of these lads. I'm like, I'm not. Yeah. I'm very much not that ladsy lad at all. And so the cancel culture thing, it's the speed at which you're written off. And it's really horrible.
Because you have been written off in the past, haven't you?
Mate, you're tarred and feathered. And particularly when you're, if I can say, when you're from a British Asian background, I'm not Gary Lineker, Alan Sugar, or you haven't got the might to override it and kind of go, hang on, and get the whole nation behind you. I'm little fish, little pond. So it just kills you. Yeah. And literally all my work went in an instant. And I'm talking about, it was the Asian Network, it was Radio 2, the One Show, Travel Show. And I loved it there. And I still love that organisation. It was a great. I was working with great people.
So-called friends disappear quickly as well.
Mate, the foolish thing I did was I just thought everybody I worked with were my friends. Because obviously that's who you mix with. Because you're with your crew, and you're with your crew every day. They're your friends. You don't have time for really anyone else. So you become really close, and also you're sharing stuff. You know, your camera people here know your best angles. And I don't think there's a bad angle, just so everyone knows. But they know how to, and you know, your little insecurities or what you like or what you don't like, and you share all of that, and then that's gone, and they're all gone out of your life.
But Tommy, how do you fight back?
No, I'll be honest, you lay low for a bit, you cry your eyes out for a bit, you lie on the floor, you have a therapist, and then you have another therapist, which is cognitive behavioural therapist, to kind of go, why am I sitting there awake at night? Because I'm sitting in bed kind of going, but I didn't say anything. Yeah. And I did, even if you rewound time, I think, I wouldn't know what to do to beat this.
So you're asking your therapist to cure something that doesn't exist?
Yeah, well, you're kind of saying, because I'm sort of saying, why do I feel this way? Why am I lying there kind of going, why is everything gone in my life? Why can't I pay my bills? Why can't I, you know, why haven't I got that upbeatness in me that I used to have? And have I lost it now? Is my mojo gone and all that? So you lay low, but luckily I've got mum and dad round the corner, a lot of support. I've got a great wife, kids. And then you realise what's important. And you go, actually, forget everyone else. Yeah. Can you say screw? I think you say screw.
You nearly swore then, didn't you?
Yeah, screw everyone else. You know, forget everyone else. Let's focus on what is more. And then there's this kind of now what I feel is like a newfound freedom. You feel like, you've almost been through that terrible thing, like a marathon or like a big ordeal, and you've gone through it, you come out the other side and you go, now you feel untouchable.
But not everybody's as strong as you though, Tom, are they?
And I'll be honest, there were some real weak moments, you know, when you're lying on the floor, you know, crying your eyes out, literally on the kitchen floor. I mean, I've got underfloor heating, don't feel sorry for me, Lee, it's all right, it's not that bad. It's like a little steam bath for your face, it's not facial with your tears. So it's not, you know, and that's the thing, you've got to count your blessings. And I think that's quite a British attitude to have to kind of go, actually, you know, I remember back in the 70s, 80s when I was growing up, people were all a bit poor, or you know, the money wasn't in abundance, particularly in the East End of London. But we had a laugh.
So you've done a bit of comedy as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Have you taken some comedy from this? What you've been through?
I think so. A lot of comedians have told me actually, because I was late kind of getting into actual stand-up. I've hosted a lot of stand-up shows, but actually, you know, being on there and doing a set, comedians go, "Don't waste a good depression." That's when you're going to come. That's when you're going to come up with all your best stuff.
Because aren't comedians manic depressive anyway?
A lot of them are miserable as anything backstage in the green room, and I'm a bit like this all the time, and a bit wired and a bit tall, and they're like, you know, all a bit serious. And then I've met them outside of work, nothing to say, but yet they light up on the stage.